G'day ladies and gentlemen, it's your mad mate Yorick. And yes, I've just assumed your genders. But, for anyone paying attention, I'm not on my Indian today. This is the new, it's been around for a few years already. XG500 Street by Harley Davidson. So, it's a little half-litre V-twin cruiser that I have just purchased for Mrs. Hunt. So I finally convinced her to get a learner permit, and she went off to do the course with my oldest boy, who also got his learner permit. And we are now the proud owners of a learner legal Harley Davidson. And it's not that I'm committed to this brand, clearly, because I don't ride one. It was the best bike out of a lot of them, considering the leader of the opposition, Mrs. Hunt, is all of 5'3", maybe. So there are a number of things to take into consideration, and we started off, we came up to Ringwood in Melbourne because there's a number of dealers here, and you can basically have a look at every single learner legal bike in a day. So I actually started off at the Royal Enfield dealership because I really like the Royal Enfields, but the seat was just so high, my wife couldn't even get her tippy toes onto the ground, and she's not confident enough to lean a bike over to hold it up at the lights and all that sort of stuff. So that was out. We also took a look while we were there at the Benelli 502C, which really, from 10 feet away, if you're not a train spotter, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and the Ducati Diavel. This is a nice little narrow bike. It's taken me a bit of getting used to. I think this thing weighs in at like literally just a touch over 200 kilos, and I'm used to running my Springfield, which is closer to 400, and has a 1.8 litre V-twin, whereas this thing is a 500cc. So yeah, anyway, the Benellis, once again, seat height was too big. The bars on them are really, really wide. So that was out. So we left there, we went up the road to Peter Stevens, because not only is it a Peter Stevens dealership, there's Harley Heaven next door. So here's how it went. My eldest boy was trying to convince his mother to get the Kawasaki Vulcan S, and on paper, awesome bike, low seat height, good torquey engine. Know a few people that have them, very happy with them. Why not? Well, why not is because Mrs. Hunt's legs are that short. Even with the forward controls and the reduced reach seat, she still wouldn't be able to sit comfortably on the bike. So that was out. And I tell you, I had to laugh my head off, because my eldest boy is one of those, you know, easygoing kids. Nothing phases him. He just goes with the flow. But did he crack the sads when I said, clearly, we can't have the Vulcan.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! Stop!
And I pissed myself laughing for a good couple of minutes, because he and my wife are going to be sharing this bike. And I refused to buy a bike for him. So the Vulcan was out. The GLW didn't like the offerings from Suzuki or Honda, with the exception of the Monkey, but at 125 and a maximum speed of 80k an hour, even with her light frame on it, I figured that it's just dangerous. You know, you really want to find that balance between having a bike that's low enough to the ground that she could put both feet on solid ground when she's at the lights, and having something high enough that people are going to see you in the traffic. So nothing from Suzuki, nothing from Honda impressed her. Then we took a look at the Yamaha XVS, which was a bike I really liked. You know, all the chrome and, you know, that deep paintwork, Yamaha reliability. You know, that was the, other than the Enfield, that was the other bike I was really bucking for. But she found that just too big and intimidating. You know, yes, all these bikes are learner legal, but not all learners are ready to get on something with the overall dimensions of a bike with a much bigger engine, like the XVS 650. So we then go next door to Harley Heaven, and she sees these Street 500. Oh, they're cute, really like them. They're a little bit tall for me. So had a really helpful salesman, who introduced us to a lady there. We were there on Saturday morning, and the Harley Owners Group was meeting there, and he introduced us to a lady who was about my wife's height and build, and she had one of these bikes with a lowered seat on it. So, you know, Cam was more than welcome, invited to get on the bike and give it a try, and she was really comfortable on the bike. And, you know, I think the one thing that sold it to her was, because Harley Owners Group membership is included when you buy a new Harley, all of a sudden it became a social thing that, you know, she'd be able to ride with other women who ride, because the couple of groups that I'm involved with, you know, it's really all guys. Every now and again, you know, there might be another woman as a pillion. So that was a big selling point for Tam. So it sounds like I'm chopping and changing with the gears. I've only been told to run it through the rev range and not hold it in any one gear at any one set of revs for too long a period of time. I've really got to do something with these mirrors. I think I'm just a little bit too wide for this bike. We might have to look at getting some sort of extension so I can see past myself, or not that I'll be riding this bike that often, but on the odd occasion that you do, you want to be able to see what's going on. So yeah, we ended up buying the Harley Davidson. We've got some extra bits and pieces with it. If you can hear, we've put a Reinhardt slip-on exhaust on it, so that's given it a really nice burble. It you know, it actually sounds like a Harley Davidson. We've put the tail tidy on so we don't have the big indicators on the back and the big bulky brake light. It's just this really nice thin LED strip that sits above the number plate. I have ordered a set of crash bars, but I've done that independently of the dealership. And I've got a screen so that if Tam or Abe are doing any long distance stuff, they've got a little bit of protection, which I've taken off for myself because at my size and height, it would just buffet me like it was going out of fashion. Like, I even struggle with buffeting on my Indian with the extra tall screen on it. So I wasn't going to ride with the screen here, and I'm only doing, you know, maximum 80k an hour for a minute here, a minute there. It's not like I'm going to be on a freeway for hours and hours on end. But, you know, this thing doesn't seem to be too bad. I'm looking at the switch gear thinking it just looks cheap and nasty. Like, Tupperware is made out of better stuff than these controls, but it's an entry-level bike. It's a Harley Davidson that you could buy if you just want the bike as it sits for under 10 grand. Like, there's a 2019 model, so they're giving people $1,000 off on the 2019s if you actually bring them a learner permit. You know, if you buy one when you're on your learner permit, there's another discount there, and then they're doing run-outs on the 2019s because the 2020s have started to come in, and we took a look at the 2020 and there was no real difference between the two. There's a new colour available, and Mrs. Hunt wasn't that interested in orange, but we saw a white one there, and we went, oh, that's oh, that's a nice colour. I really like that. Because remember, I'm a black and chrome guy, and this bike is basically all white and black, with the exception of what the bezel around the speedo, the rear shock absorbers, the top of the front forks of the fuel cap. You know, that's about it. You know, here I am doing 80k an hour in 6th gear at 3,000 revs. Apparently this thing revs out at 8 grand. It seems happy enough. I'm sort of struggling with my feet a bit because I'm used to having footboards and not pegs, and I got big feet as well. So I'm not massive, but you know, bigger than average. So, you know, just for the record, I'm 6'6". I know the Americans are very big on inseams, so my inseam is 36, I think. Or at least I keep buying jeans with a 36-inch inseam. You know what they say about blokes with big inseams? Long pants. But yeah, look, I fit on it comfortably enough. Is it, you know, as comfortable as my bike? No, but you know, this is a $9,000 motorcycle, and I'm comparing it to a $50,000 motorcycle. You know, there's horses for courses, and for a learner, you know, would I do much to change this? I think we'll have a look how comfortable Tam's finding it. I'm actually thinking that these bars might just be able to roll forward, even just half an inch could make the world of difference to her. But I'm going to leave it up to her. But yeah, you know, you can't really complain. Everything's finished off nicely. It's not a bad looking bike, you know. And she now owns a Harley Davidson, and the best thing about it is, because it's registered to her, and I refuse to buy my kid a bike, but you know, there is an understanding between the two of them that if she's not riding, then he can come. You know, if she's just happy to be a pillion, then, you know, he can ride with us, he's still going to have, doesn't matter how grown up he thinks he is, he'll still have to ask his mother for permission to borrow her Harley Davidson. And I just think that's hilarious. So, you know, takes off quite nicely. No false neutrals. Just keeping up with the traffic. Remembering, you know, your average male is what? 80 kilo. I'm 120, 125. So, with me on board, the bike's working. As I say, you can see we're cruising along nicely. It's kind of happy. I'm not sure if you can hear the exhaust from there, but you know what? It's there. I don't mind it. I can live with it. You know, it's a bit more high pitched than what I'm used to. But it is what it is. Hopefully Mrs. Hunt will enjoy her riding, and after a while she'll look at upgrading to something else. You know, I certainly don't think this is the sort of bike you'd buy to do, you know, 500 kilometers in a day. But, you know, as a commuter, as something to use an hour here, an hour there, I think it's going to be a good thing. Especially because of her size, because she is so petite. That's it from me. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, remember to smash the subscribe button and click the bell, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.